listening to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, brought to you by Affyversemedia.com, the chapter and verse of everything you need to know about running a successful affiliate program for your business. This is a podcast for digital and affiliate marketers, publishers, networks, agencies, and MarTech providers who operate, support, or manage affiliate marketing programs around the globe. If you want to launch, scale, and grow a successful affiliate marketing program, you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how affiliate and partner marketing is constantly changing, and tune in to industry experts who are getting behind our mic to share tactical insights and practical knowledge to help your affiliate program grow. Here you'll discover what's new and trending in affiliate and performance marketing, how to run your affiliate program successfully, and gain industry insights from experts and practitioners from around the globe. The truth is, you simply won't find this information anywhere else. Now here's your award-winning affiliate and performance marketing host, an industry veteran, your affiliate marketing guide, and the founder of Affyverse, Leanne Johnston.
Welcome to this week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast with me, your host, Leanne Johnston. And today I'm super excited to have Josh Sebo joining me from OfferVault.com. Some of you may know Josh if you're in the affiliate world. Some of you may not, but that's exactly why he's here on this podcast today. Before we get Josh to introduce himself, I want to tell you a little bit about how I discovered Josh. So I was actually listening to other people's affiliate marketing podcasts, and I came across the podcast with Josh, and I think it's Adam from Ringba, and they were having some really interesting conversations, and I just thought I need to get these guys on my podcast too.
Yeah, it's me. It's Adam from Ringba. It's Harrison Gewirtz, the industry legend, and we also like to have, other people from the industry on our show as well. So I feel like this is a great collaboration.
So tell us a little bit, Josh, about how you came into the industry, what OfferVault is, just for those people that are tuning in from around the world that don't really know what you do. Let's start there, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, so how I got into this industry is pretty random, which I think a lot of people in this industry would probably say as well. So before this industry, I grew up playing music, and I always wanted to be a professional musician. So I graduated college with a marketing degree. I also heard it was one of the easier degrees to get in the business school. And I bought a one-way ticket to Los Angeles to pursue my dreams of becoming a rock star. And the person that I lived with in Los Angeles is my uncle, Darren Blatt, who hosts the affiliate ball events and the Affy Awards, Gala, all that stuff. So Darren is my mom's stepbrother, and he was like, hey man, come live on my couch. You can help me sell sponsorships for these events that I throw in this marketing industry, like to make some money on the side. So to sum up, a little bit of what you can probably already guess, I ended up basically working with him on the affiliate ball. And that was kind of my introduction to the affiliate world. I really had no idea what it was, but I started going to all the shows with him, handing out passes to his parties, selling sponsorships on the phone and through email leading up to each conference and event. And for me, it was awesome. I was like a early 20s, living in LA, partying all the time, going to these events, hanging out with these celebrities that he was having perform. And I was like, this is sweet, posting pictures, thinking I'm like the coolest dude in the world, right? Yeah. Everybody's like, what are you doing for work? Which was the beginning of many times I'd be asked that question working in this industry, right? It's like, try explaining affiliate marketing to somebody who's never heard of it. You eventually get very good at saying it in as few sentences as possible and hope they don't ask more questions, right? So I do that with Darren for a couple years, or really honestly, like a year and a half. I'm parking cars at a hotel on the side, and I'm selling sponsorships for his events and trying to make it as a rock star, right? Mm-hmm. Still there. So eventually I do, I guess, make it as a rock star, and I end up getting a gig playing bass on American Idiot, which is Green Day's Broadway musical.
Yeah.
So that came to an end. I was like, what am I going to do now? I decided to join a hippie jam band back in Cleveland, Ohio, playing bass because I wasn't ready to give up on that dream, right? Played in this electronic dance music, improvisational jam band for 2 years. And the band was called Broccoli Samurai. So go check them out. Eventually, I realized I didn't want to play music anymore, and I didn't want to be a touring musician anymore.
Yeah, it's hard.
So I'll sum up a lot of that chapter of my life and just say I reached out to Darren and told him what was going on. He was like, hey, I know this headhunter in the industry. His name's Mike Carney, and he works at a company called Performance Marketing Jobs. Maybe he knows somebody in the industry, and with your experience with me, it's possible they might just give you a flyer, on some sort of introductory affiliate manager role. So I talked to Mike. Mike, coincidentally, at the same time, had been in touch with the previous owner of OfferVault. His name was Mark Roth. He had been in the industry for a very long time. He started it and he owned it up until about 2019, so about 12 years. Anyways, Mark in 2015, the end of 2015, Mike Carney talks to Mark at OfferVault. Mark needs a guy to run his biz dev. It was just like the perfect timing, right place, right time situation. So I fly out to New York. I interview, I'm a great interviewer. I always, I'm a people person, right? He gave me a shot. So he's in New York. He's like, come on out here. Let's have you be our, I forget what my role was. It was something biz dev, maybe head of business development, something like that. But what I didn't know was basically it was, you're going to wear every single hat and you're going to run this website. And I am a bass player, right? Who used to sell like sponsorships. So it was a lot of learning, like throw you in the fire and you're going to learn a lot, which honestly is challenging, but I think it's one of the best ways you can learn anything. It's just by kind of diving in head first and figuring it out. You learn a lot about what you're trying to do, learn a lot about yourself and what you're capable of, and the epitome of trying to take it one step at a time. Started running OfferVault, and we're about 8 years into the future now. And, although my title has changed to COO, my job really hasn't much, honestly. Like, I'd say I'm better at what I do, and I do more things than I used to do, but I'm still Josh at OfferVault. If there's anything related to OfferVault, you're going to talk to me. It's a very small operation. It's kind of like a well-run machine, and I'm the guy that keeps the machine running.
So tell us a little bit about what OfferVault is, because some people might not have heard about what OfferVault is and who it's for and what it does. And we've got a lot of affiliate managers here, so let's tell them a little bit about what this tool does.
Yeah. So OfferVault has kind of become a brand name in the industry, which is a good and a bad thing. You want to become a brand name in the industry. You want to become the first place new affiliates go to learn about affiliate marketing. What it is we are the industry's largest aggregator of affiliate networks, affiliate offers, direct advertisers, affiliate programs, advertising networks, service providers within the space. So we're kind of like your one-stop shop when it comes to all things affiliate marketing. The basic flow of our site is that, our users are the affiliates and the publishers who are looking for offers to work with. And the service we provide them is we basically take all the networks and direct advertisers with an affiliate program and that have offers and that also want to pay us to be on the site. And we put them all on OfferVault and allow our users to search by keyword. So if I'm an affiliate in the Nutra space and I'm not exactly sure which direction in that vertical I want to head, I can go to OfferVault. I can type in Nutra in our search bar, and I can see all the different networks with Nutra offers, what they're offering as the payout. I can click on each offer and get specific details on what restrictions there are related to how I can promote it. And if I like what I see, I can then easily click a button that says run offer. And that's where we send the user, who is the affiliate, from that landing page on OfferVault to the sign up page for the network or the affiliate program that's promoting it on OfferVault. So you could kind of think about us as a bridge, right? You got the affiliates and the publishers, you got the affiliate programs with offers. And OfferVault is kind of that bridge that helps both sides of the industry come together. So a lot of times people say, like, if you're new to affiliate marketing, go check out OfferVault. Love that. It's great. But, it can also get you a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing and can create a problem with traffic quality and stuff like that, so it's kind of I would much rather prefer to have that problem than not have enough people using our resource, right? But, it's kind of a blessing and a curse because you get a little bit of everything. But if you're in the industry, chances are you've probably heard of OfferVault. And if you haven't heard of OfferVault, obviously I'd love for you to come check it out. We'll definitely help get you in front of the right networks and get you connected with the right offers.
So I found you. I've been in the industry 20 years. I don't do a lot of business in the US, but I have a big US component that listens. So I'm assuming most people listening to this podcast will have heard of OfferVault. But I actually found you through your podcast because I was listening to you guys chew the fat and talk about affiliate marketing. And I thought, wow, these guys are interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the competitiveness and why OfferVault actually exists is to help, as you said, publishers find the right offers for the traffic that they've got, right? So it's almost like an aggregation of all the offers out there in the world, which one suits my website best. And that's an amazing tool. But how should brands stay relevant in such a competitive industry? Because the choice really is up to the affiliate right now in terms of where they send their customers. What are you seeing across the industry and across all of these offers and all of these brands that plug into OfferVault about where the future of affiliate marketing is headed? Like, are people still doing pricing wars to kind of get the benefit of attention, or are there brands doing other things that are actually working with publishers to get them to actually send their traffic? Like, what's the kind of word on the street at the moment as you see it?
I think, there are some people that believe in branding and staying relevant, and there are some people that don't. And I don't think one is right or one is wrong. I think if you're going to be a long-term player in this space, it's important to keep yourself visible and in front of people's eyeballs. Now, is OfferVault the only place to do that? Of course not, right? We all know that. But we are the most well-known and the biggest, and I think the most trusted brand in the space. But in terms of the advertising front in general, I think it's just so important to stay in front of the industry, right? Because mainly it's an industry that has a lot of turnover. It has a lot of turnover with companies. It has a lot of turnover with users, or not users, but affiliates, right? People come and go in this industry all the time. So, for a company that's like, everybody knows who I am, that's great, first of all, right? But you got new people coming into the space all the time. And if they're coming to OfferVault first, I don't see, if you're that big, the cost to advertise on OfferVault is pennies to you, right? So I don't see any downside to keeping your brand in front of those new users as they come in. And, for people that don't really advertise, whether it's with us at OfferVault or with other companies in the space, I would have to believe that's because they typically just feel they don't need to. Like they're pretty content with where they're at. They don't really care how many new users they get. They have a working system, and I think that's great. I don't think OfferVault is for everyone. I think we're good at what we do for people that believe in what we do. And it's funny, we have huge networks that have been advertising with us longer than anybody, like Max Bounty, Max Web, to name a few, V Commission. Like, I don't want to, everyone who's not listening, I'm not like picking, all right? I don't mean to.
This is not an affiliate broadcast. Like,
this is no not, link here. There's no sponsorship for the companies I'm naming. We have a lot of great companies, hundreds of companies. Those are some of the bigger ones that have been with us for, honestly, almost as long as I've been here. Regardless of how big you are, you just need to constantly stay in front of this industry, whether it's people that know about you or new ones that don't. people that know about you, they're going to see you continuing to push your brand. They're going to continue to see that you're working hard to keep your brand out there. Whether it's people that don't, then obviously they're learning about you, and there's a huge benefit to that as well.
I think you're right, because I don't see a lot of brands promoting or marketing their affiliate programs. They've got affiliate account managers that are doing one-to-one outreach, but they're not actually investing in marketing their program like they are marketing their brand to the consumer. And you have got to start thinking of affiliates not as suppliers, but as consumers. They are your consumers in your affiliate program, and you need to be creating programs, promotions, branding, going to events, doing all the marketing components that you would do with your actual product or service, because affiliates do have choice. The market. I mean, how many thousands of advertisers have you got on OfferVault? If I can put you on the spot and ask you to pick that number, but there's like 20, 30,000. I don't know how many.
Now, when you say advertisers, you're talking to like specific offers with like brands and stuff like that. Yeah. Tens of thousands of offers. Yeah.
Now, you're one affiliate with, 50,000 visits in a month in a certain niche. There's probably 5,000, 10,000 products that you can send that traffic to. How do you make that choice? If you're not marketing your program efficiently and you're not putting content out there that resonates with that affiliate, and you're not solving that affiliate's problems or pain points, how on earth are they ever going to find you if you've only got one or two affiliate managers running your program and doing outbound recruitment? Think about the numbers here. Just the numbers speak volumes, like 5,000 programs to every one affiliate. How are you standing out? And if you take nothing out of this podcast with us together, guys, really, I want you to start thinking about your marketing strategy and leveraging tools like OfferVault, even, our website, Afterverse Media. There's so many different places that you can be marketing your program. And it's not just through events. Like, everybody goes to all of the main affiliate events, but not every affiliate can afford to attend these events. So how are you reaching them? How are you actually getting in front of them? I'm glad that you've told us and shared some of these numbers, because sometimes I think affiliate managers sit in their office and they go, oh, well, we're the best affiliate program in the world. But yeah, you and the 5,000 others that are out there reaching into this place. So what are the common themes that you're hearing about that are impacting the industry after all these years? Because you've been in it since, the early 2000s. So how do you see the industry's changed? I'm always interested to get perspective from people that I speak to in the industry.
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot, and it also hasn't changed at all. I think the way that it hasn't changed at all is the pain points are still like the pain points. You're still dealing with a lot of fraud and a lot of people that are trying to make that quick buck, right? So, and this goes for both sides of the industry, right? Like, as the CEO of OfferVault, I get to see both sides a little bit, right? So, there are a lot of affiliates who cause problems for networks, right? Obviously. So I think it's extremely important to have like your checks and balances in order. If you're a new network, right, before you're taking on new partners like that, you need to make sure you have some sort of process to check the traffic and check everything that goes into your partnership with these affiliates, but also with networks too. Like, if you're just coming in and you're trying to set up a network to make that quick buck, like, you're going to lose all the good affiliates really fast because they're going to see through your BS. And you also need to make sure like you have the proper tools in place for your affiliates, like a good tracking platform, a good dashboard, a good interface that they can use to see how they're performing with you. So, that's on the side of things not changing. And I think that'll always be a part of our industry and any industry, right? Where you're working with new companies and new individuals where there's so much turnover. What has changed is like the presence of pay-per-call in our space. I feel like a lot of people are getting more involved in that side of the industry.
Why do you think they are? Do you think that's because people are worried about cookies deprecating and first-party data, and getting somebody's telephone number is a little bit easier than getting an email address? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually just finished reading Adam's book, which is over my shoulder, The Pay-per-Call Revolution, and it kind of really broke down how the industry works for me. To answer your question, you can make a lot more money and you can do it in a much more legitimate fashion. It's a lot easier to keep track of your numbers when you're using a good tracking platform. And it's not easy to find success, right? You have to put in the work 100% like you do with anything. But I think when you do put in the work and you have a good roadmap, Pay-per-call provides you a lot more opportunities in terms of basically getting those end users. It's a lot more of a warm inbound, right? It's an inbound lead where people need something. And if they're willing to get on the phone, I mean, the sale's half done, right? You just need to have a good person on the other end that can sell them. So I think that's a lot of it with pay-per-call. And I know not everybody's getting into pay-per-call, but I am starting to see like a lot of these bigger networks who can afford to kind of diversify a bit. They didn't have pay-per-call a few years ago. And it seems like a lot of more of these bigger networks are starting to add pay-per-call into their offerings to test it out, see how it's doing, but also to provide that as an avenue for their affiliates who are interested in it as well.
And also I'm hearing like different markets are investing more heavily into pay-per-call. So here in the UK, it's not really a thing. Like pay-per-call isn't really a massive thing. It lives on the lead generation side, but certainly not in the performance world. And it's kind of industry specific as well. Like for, I would say, products to consumers. It's an easier tracking and marketing solution to plug in for certain types of industries. But then I'm seeing in like Africa, for example, where everybody's on a mobile phone and it's much easier to get somebody's WhatsApp number and send them a text or call them than what it is to actually gather an email address and have them sitting by a desktop. So I think thinking about all of these different types of tracking solutions and figuring out how your platform can implement it. And we tend to think desktop mobile and we don't actually think about phone. And actually everybody's got one of these in their pocket. So why would you not want to be able to call them or ring them or do things? So I think we do need to get a little bit more savvy about looking at where our customers are and thinking about where we actually reach them, where and how we reach them, instead of trying to force them into funnels that maybe aren't natural for them. Like we try and send them to a landing page, get their email, and then upsell them on everything that we want to upsell them. And actually, it's not the natural process or order of how they're working. And we see that a lot with the advancement of TikTok even. So TikTok Shop, I mean, it's just like exploded on e-commerce. And now we're seeing, like Shopify sellers and Amazon sellers actually now expanding their reach through TikTok Shop, and not actually working on the usual platforms that they were given to kind of, run their programs and run their stores. So I think we're seeing a lot of interconnectedness happening across all of these different channels. And and it brings me back to that point that you mentioned earlier about marketing. We kind of need to be taking our program out to where the masses are and not bringing them into us. We need to go to wherever the affiliates are. And they are across different, platforms, looking at how they run their businesses and how they want to interact with brands. So really want you guys to think about what we're talking about here, what Josh has brought to the table in terms of really getting to the nuts and bolts of understanding who your affiliate is and where they're going to be hanging out. I think the industry is changing. And like you said, I mean, but a lot has still stayed the same. And I like the fact that you said that, because it is still a people-driven business. It is still a relationship-driven business. And you've got, thousands of relationships in OfferVault in terms of the publishers that you're meeting and greeting. But what is in your opinion, what's the kind of success ratio of all of these partners coming in? Because you're right, out of 1,000 affiliates that come into OfferVault, maybe only 100 actually start to become really top earners. What's the kind of ratio that you've seen over the last, almost decade that you've been making there?
Yeah, I'll answer your question, but it might be from a different perspective. The affiliates that come to OfferVault, we actually don't have much of a relationship with. We're kind of a free, open platform. So honestly, we don't even require you to make an account. They can hop onto OfferVault, don't have to enter any information, find what they're looking for, go to that network. So in terms of the affiliates that find success, I honestly cannot speak on that because I honestly don't know. But I could tell you, having been in the industry for coming up on 20 years, like we're doing something right? We're helping people find the networks they want. I could answer the question from the other side though, like how much success do advertising partners like networks and affiliate programs find with OfferVault? And the honest answer is the same amount of success you'd find with any advertising website. It's going to work for some people. It's not going to work for everybody, right? And there's also so many different ways you can advertise with us. I get a little bit of a laugh when someone comes to us and says, hey, we were on your site for a month and we got, 5 signups and none of them worked out. And I go back and they did like the very barest of minimum that they could do. They tossed up an account with like 2 offers, maybe 1 offer in it. And I understand some people only have 1 offer, and that's fine. We offer ways to get you seen more, right? But I think it comes down to like, some people don't want to make the investment in themselves to give themselves the best chance of success. Again, it's kind of the quick buck mindset, right? And then on the flip side, you have people that are willing to make that investment in themselves. And they typically seem to have more success when it comes to advertising with us. People say, how many signups can I expect when I come on to OfferVault as an advertiser? And I say, hey, this isn't the answer that you want, but this is the truth. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. And we won't know until we try it. They say, oh, this guy's being straight up with me. Like, maybe it doesn't work out, but I'm willing to give it a shot because he's not trying to blow some hot air like in my face. So just as a side note, like, always be upfront. I think it gets you a lot farther when you can get trust and people can trust you. It creates a long-term relationship regardless of how the partnership goes. Like, when I work with people like that, a lot of times I get, hey, like, not everybody renews and stays on OfferVault, clearly, right? We have people that come and go all the time. But for the people that leave, a lot of times it's like, hey, it didn't work out for us, but, loved working with you, appreciate your honesty and all your help. Communication is key, right? Like, I typically don't let 24 hours go by without a response. And that's like max. I just think, honesty and communication is going to get you the best results in this industry. And it's less about the actual results and more about the results of like building relationships and having other opportunities down the road because people know you're genuine and they can come back to you in the future. Again, there's a lot of turnover.
It's very disruptive. And I think affiliates do find that, which is why they sort of hold on to the affiliate managers that they have and they move with their affiliate managers whichever company they go to. And unfortunately, that's something that the C-level suite isn't really taking note of. Like, they think that an affiliate manager, there was actually a really great story that I want to share with you guys, but it was about a sales company that went into, I think it was like a BMW dealership or something. And they were trying to train the sales managers to get better at selling, okay, and to sell more high value cars. And what they actually ended up realizing after observing the state of the dealership is that the people that they needed to actually train were not the salespeople, but actually the receptionists. Because the receptionists were the first point of contact, making the call with the customer and giving the customer the first touch experience. And I like to think of affiliate managers being those people for brands. They are the first point of contact that a potential entrepreneur or affiliate is going to be touching in your business. But in our industry, historically, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I have been in the industry a long time, the C-level suite sort of see affiliate account managers as quite an unskilled and low-level job, almost like not that customer support isn't unskilled, but they don't see it as part of the marketing team almost, where people have to go to university to get a degree. Believe me, you need a degree level to work in affiliate marketing. It just doesn't exist yet because we're learning affiliate marketing on the job. So I hear what you're saying, and I think that is something that hasn't changed in the industry over the last, almost 2 decades, is that this role is still largely misunderstood within the bigger marketing spectrum, but is actually an incredibly skillful role. And if you have the wrong people in those first touch points, not giving good customer service to affiliates, the affiliates are going to flip off and go somewhere else and take their business elsewhere. So it's almost like a terrible cycle that we're in, where we're just kind of churning and burning these wonderful account managers that are coming into our industry, but we're not giving them the support to actually understand how to build and really leverage long-term personal relationships to get the deals in. I don't know if you see that too.
I've seen affiliate managers leave one company leave one network and go to a new network. And the new network they go to typically is one of the larger, more successful networks, right? And I think that just kind of touches on what you were saying. Like, it's not the only way to be a successful network, but I think it's extremely important that you pay attention into those relationships with your affiliate managers, because they are that receptionist, right? They are the first point of contact. So I think like the networks that are big and succeeding constantly are putting an importance on their talent within the organization, right? They're talking to them. They're on the ground level. They're going to the shows. They're working the booths, right? They're seeing what's going on, and they're able to provide that feedback to the affiliate managers. And they're also able, more importantly, to get that feedback from the affiliate managers, right? There's no wall. Like, I'm the owner. I run this. You're going to do what I say. It's like, how can I better serve you? Because when your affiliate managers are crushing it, the company is crushing it, right?
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I've seen it in the numbers. Okay, so how can affiliate managers get ahead of the curve in all that the industry is throwing at us? And I want to kind of talk a little bit about your thoughts on AI and whether you think this is a hot topic and how you guys are looking at it, if you are yet.
No, we've talked about AI a bunch, and I'm a big fan of ChatGPT. If you've watched the Affiliate Marketing Show, our podcast, I do a little skit at the beginning where I do an intro, and I typically use ChatGPT, and sometimes I'll do a little comedy in there. But today I decided to use ChatGPT to kind of work this question in. I said, what are some of the biggest innovations you're seeing in the affiliate marketing industry, and how can we learn from them? ChatGPT said, the affiliate marketing landscape has been evolving rapidly, and several innovations have emerged to optimize performance and adapt to changing consumer behaviors. Here are some key innovations and insights you can learn from. So I'm not going to go through all this, but the first one is AI and machine learning, right? Which I thought was funny coming from ChatGPT. For anyone that's interested, the other headlines or ideas are influencer marketing, content marketing integration, data-driven optimization, cross-channel marketing, mobile optimization, which we talked about, and compliance and transparency. But
didn't talk about pay-per-call, though. That's why you need the humans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, AI is awesome. I like really didn't understand the power of ChatGPT until I started using it. And I'm not even like using it. Like, people are using it to like write code and stuff. And
well, I did that. I have to just do a shout. I have to toot my own horn here on my own podcast. I wrote a ChatGPT code that can now help me to transcribe some of our webinar videos. And it is like 99.95% accurate. Like, it is ridiculous. And I don't even know how to code. I'm an idiot. Like, I have no coding experience whatsoever. It was just amazing, just super amazing what this tool can do.
The possibilities of AI are endless, let alone like actually related to making money in the affiliate marketing industry. I think people are just starting to like touch the surface. I'm excited about it. I think some people are scared of it. I'm kind of a person that embraces technology. You know, if there's an easier way to do something, I'm all for it. I'm all about AI. I think it's definitely the number one like thing that's happening. To answer your question about like getting ahead of it, I don't think it's like something we need to get ahead of. I think, and you hear this all the time in this industry, you just got to continue to be flexible, and you need to be ready to pivot, right? Which the successful companies are constantly doing in our industry and in any industry. You know, ton of regulations are always popping up in this space, right? I think it's just super important, especially with like the advancements in technology. You got to be ready to pivot, and you got to be ready to learn, and you got to stay flexible.
So my last question on this podcast as we wrap up is, what about the work-life balance working in affiliate marketing? Because we actually have just done a two-parter previously. If you're listening to this podcast, you can go back and listen to the one with Emily Lieb and Claire Adamo, where we spoke about the work-life balance and the fact that affiliate managers tend to get burnout. So how have you built your work-life balance? You know, in the affiliate industry for so many years and running a business and the podcast and everything else that you do, like how
and being a dad with two kids under 2 years old. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we all have to kind of balance all of that stuff. So what's your kind of one tip for busy affiliate managers and busy affiliates listening to this podcast?
I really got into this kind of stuff over the past few years, went really deep into Buddhism and mental health. And it's done a lot of good stuff for me. Going back to work-life balance, I think it depends on who you talk to. There's no, again, opinions, no right or wrong thing. Everybody's on this planet for such a short period of time. If you want to work nonstop, that's sweet. That's one way to experience this journey, right? My co-host, Adam Young of Ringbo, he loves to work. He loves to build. He loves to lead, and he's amazing at it. And, that's how he finds fulfillment, right? But that doesn't mean that's the only way to find fulfillment. I also think it depends on the person, what's important to you, right? And this is just in general, for a long time, right? It was all about seeing that paycheck get higher and higher and higher. And, over time I found like anything, that high of getting that new high number is fleeting, right? It lasts for a second and then you become used to it and you're like, I need more, right? So it's a difficult thing for me balancing the concept of having enough and settling. I don't want to settle, but I also want to have enough, because if I have enough, then I can be happy in the present moment, right?
That's a very good point, because affiliate managers have to live in the future. They have to plan now for next quarter. And so we forget to live in the moment. And in not living in the moment, you're actually not living with yourself. You're living with your future present, your future presence and how you're going to be in 3 months' time. And I think that's a very, very important point.
I mean, yeah, it's nothing extraordinarily profound, right? Everybody's heard it, but it's so hard to actually do. I got really big into meditation, and I would do 10 to 15 minutes every morning before I started my workday. Kind of comes and goes, but I notice when I'm doing it, my days are much better than when I'm not doing it, right? Taking things one step at a time, super over said by everybody, but it's so true, staying in the moment. So I think just in terms of a work-life balance, it depends on who you are and what you value in life. If you value working and working brings you happiness and fulfillment, I don't know if you've heard the saying, some people work to live and some people live to work, right? I'm definitely a person that works to live, right? I love my job. I love the freedom I have with my job, being able to work from home and kind of make my own hours and travel and all that stuff. But it's all about the life I'm able to live outside of work. Sometimes what I do, if I'm really worried about something, ask yourself in any situation, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? Sometimes I'll be stressing about a client who is coming up on a renewal and they've been ignoring me. And I'm oh my God, I got to figure this out. And then I'll be wait, what's the worst thing that could happen? And it's I take them off the site. A lot of times I just find that I create these problems in my head that aren't actually as bad as I think they are. The person I am today and how I approach my work life is very different than the person I was 8 years ago when I started working at OfferVault. OfferVault and work was everything. And I was chasing that title and I was chasing the money. And I was just so unfulfilled until I started taking a step back and realizing, what was important to me, which is, physical health, mental health, family, the relationships I have in my life, and just choosing to be happy. You just got to try to find gratitude in everything.
I think there were some good pieces of advice there for people that are listening in. And I mean, to be honest, the thing that stood out for me is, what's the worst that can happen? It's such a powerful question. But I think that's a good place to stop. It's a good place to actually leave this podcast there's some lessons that have been learned on this conversation from the experiences that you've had in the industry, but also there's time to stop and take stock of what you're doing and the relationships that you're building and how that impacts your business, and strip away some of the stuff that we're doing that doesn't actually really matter, and simplify our processes, and then leverage things like AI to actually make our processes more efficient and more simple, but focus in and really hone in on building those personable relationships, because that is the one thing that has never changed over the last 20 years that I've certainly been in the industry. And it's the thing that you said too.
I'll leave you with one favorite quote. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path.
It's very true. I love that quote. All right, people, we're going to leave you on that quote to go and live your week ahead and to enjoy your life as an affiliate manager and affiliate, and to get some perspective and remember why you're doing this job, because you love it. So thank you, Josh, for joining me on the podcast this week and for sharing all of your insights as you are running forward with OfferVault. It's been a pleasure to have you on the Affiliate Marketing Podcast. So thanks so much for sharing with us this week.
Are you ready to elevate your business and take it to new heights? The Innovate Summit is coming to you from London, the United Kingdom, on the 16th and 17th of September in partnership with Affiverse, Lead Generation World, and Maverick.io. This year, we're focusing on how to grow your business once third-party cookies eventually fall away. We'll be teaching you how to plan ahead for 2025, creating your marketing strategy, and understanding what channels offer the best investment to keep your sales growing, along with understanding how to leverage social selling and lead generation to grow your business. Whether you're an affiliate, an advertiser, retailer, network, agency, or just a B2B tool or SaaS provider, this event is made for you if you want to elevate your performance, understand where to get more first-party data, and grow your online service-based business leads next year. From in-depth panel discussions to TED Talk mini masterclasses, you'll get a host of insights on what to plan for and how to get successful next year. Enjoy our tabletop exhibition spaces and see new tools and tech and agencies that can support your business growth. Get to this event and come and learn more with the brightest minds in performance and lead generation. Visit affiversemedia.com/elevate-2024 to secure your ticket now. You really don't want to miss this incredible 2-day in-person event with a super low early bird ticket price of just £149. But be quick, because that offer ends on the 31st of May and will rise to a full price ticket very, very soon. You can't even get a lunch for 2 days in London for that price, so hurry up and come and join us at Elevate. You really don't want to miss out on all that we'll be sharing with you at this year's summit. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
This week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast is brought to you by AMP. The Affiliate Manager Performance Program is designed for ambitious affiliate program managers working at brands, agencies, or networks who want to scale their affiliate program and improve their partner performance. We've trained hundreds of affiliate managers from companies like Microsoft, Omnisend, AstroPay, IQ Option, PokerStars, Betson, Oxylabs, ConvertKit, and more. We help them build consistent sales and trusted partnerships. Dedicate just 1 hour per week over a 12-week period. This affiliate management performance program is unlike any other. Learn proven tactics, tried and tested strategies, and access decades of experience with industry veterans who've launched, scaled, and grown multi-million-dollar affiliate programs around the world. Go to affiversemedia.com, hit the training menu, and book your seat on AMP for 2024.